back to another one, you guys. If you're new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Mercedes-Benz of Hagerstown in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we're in the brand new 2026 Mercedes-Benz GLE 350 because this is a dang good looking SUV, especially in black. You got plenty of tech, plenty of luxury, but ultimately in this video we will be testing out and going over everything about this one. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as you can imagine, there are a couple different configurations for the 2026 GLE 350. Got the rear wheel drive setup starting at $62,250. Then you got the 4MATIC all-wheel drive starting at $64,750. But regardless of the configuration that you go with, the power plant on the GLE 350 is going to be the same. Powering the beast is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with a mild hybrid system that puts out 255 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, 295 pound-feet of torque coming in at 1,800 RPM. That power being sent to the rear wheels or all wheels through a 9-speed automatic with paddle shifters, which of course you guys know we will be testing out here in a little bit. But 0 to 60 time approximately 7 seconds flat, with MPG numbers coming in at 20 in the city, 27 on the highway, taking premium unleaded fuel. And so before we do any kind of fun acceleration or paddle shifter test here in the GLE, I did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. And so that is labeled dynamic. It's a little silver toggle switch located just to the left of the touchpad controller there in the middle. But ultimately, drive modes will include individual, sport, comfort, eco, and off-road, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the steering sensitivity. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the paddle shifters and acceleration here to the test. I want to see how quickly the paddle shifters react here. And of course, let's see how quickly we can get this one here up to speed. All right, manual shift mode, sport driving mode, 3, 2, 1, go. There it is. I like that. That's very smooth transmission as well. Like the shifts are pretty darn good. There was a little bit of delay, so it's not like going to be AMG quick or anything like that, but yeah, that was a really nice acceleration there. You're absolutely 100% not going to have any issues emerging onto the highway. There wasn't that much of a delay at the very beginning either, probably because of the mild hybrid system that kind of eliminated that, because traditionally with turbocharged 4 cylinders you will get a little bit of a delay at the very beginning, hence turbo lag, but that was all right. I didn't mind that acceleration. Paddle shifters were okay, but the other thing with the paddle shifters, they're extremely high quality. Like, it almost feels aluminum, although I think they are plastic, just coated with a really nice heavy-duty silver, but they're not matte black plastic like you quite often find even in luxury automakers. So for that reason, I like the paddle shifters, I like the acceleration. Let's move on to the braking. But anyways, when it comes to the braking, 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes do come standard. When it comes to that 6E0 stopping distance, it comes at a respectable 118 feet. There's nothing wrong with that. Typically, that's a sports sedan number, by the way. So I like that number. As far as braking feel goes, 3, 2, 1, go! Yeah, baby, that's fine. I mean, it is a little bit on the softer side of things, which you would expect in a vehicle like the GLE 350. So having said that, 118 feet, oh my gosh, look at my camera. Yeah, you can tell it's fine by the way my camera just totally dived on me there. So plenty of braking power, absolutely not going to have any issues with that. I still got to adjust my camera. But anyways, then touching on suspension and handling, you will find an independent wishbone type front suspension, in the back independent multi-link rear suspension, but you also get an adaptive variable suspension coming standard. So what that does is it monitors each shock absorber individually, not only adjusting to the road imperfections, giving you a smoother ride, but it does tighten up that suspension during heavy cornering, giving you better handling as well. So it really does give you the best of both worlds. But the most noticeable difference whenever you get an adaptive variable suspension is going to be the ride quality. It does improve the ride quality pretty substantially. So I definitely like that, and not all luxury automakers give you that adaptive variable suspension. So big fan of that overall. When it comes to ride quality, my short little test drive here today, we're on probably the smoothest road in Hagerstown, but it's pretty darn good. So absolutely no issues with that. As far as steering feel goes, now that will adjust dependent upon the drive mode that you put it in. So a little bit of something for everybody. If you wanted a heavier steering feel, put it in that sport driving mode. If you wanted a looser, more traditional kind of SUV steering feel, put it in comfort or eco or something like that. So I don't mind it. Even in eco, like I have it in right now though, it does tend to lead a little bit on the heavier side of things, which I'm a big fan of because that more instantly points you in the direction that you want to go. It's a little more playful for that reason. So I'm actually a big fan of the steering feel in the GLE. But then touching on cabin noise, we're going 54 miles per hour right now. We're going over a bridge. I'll be quiet here for a sec. I had to pick the bridge to go over, of course. But anyways, cabin noise, plenty serene, absolutely 100% on point there. It's what you would expect a luxury automaker to perform like in terms of sereneness, I guess you could call it. But then touching our rear visibility, looking out my rear view mirror there, I can see 100% perfectly fine out the back, so definitely on point there. Touching on forward visibility a little bit, rain sensing windshield wipers actually do come standard on the GLE 350, so whenever this thing detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it's going to automatically turn on those windshield wipers for you. So just one less thing you got to worry about there. And the other thing is you can get a head-up display if you go with the Pinnacle trim. That goes for $5,600, which, by the way, it's a $300 bump for the Pinnacle trim from last year, but that's going to display your speed limit, and safety features up onto your windshield, although we don't have it with this here today. So that's going to better help keep your eyes on the road as well. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let me go ahead and find a cool spot for you here, and let's check out the exterior now of our brand new 2026 Mercedes-Benz GLE 350. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2026 Mercedes-Benz GLE 350, finished in black. That is the creative exterior color name that they went with for this one, but nonetheless, like I said, it does look good. Just maybe get a little more creative with the color names, Mercedes. You got some good other color names, but yeah, not this one. But anyways, let's go ahead and start with where the GLE is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the number 4, indicating that the GLE is built and assembled here in the US, believe it or not. Starting up front though, you'll find a dual horizontal slat front grille coming standard. However, we have the AMG line package. It goes for $3,150. That gives you more of that traditional diamond block front grille that Mercedes-Benz has come to be known for, and that's what you guys are looking at. I think it looks amazing. Also, in the center there is an illuminated star that's available for $535 if you wanted to go that route. You do have front air curtains to the bottom corners there if you go with the AMG line package as well. Overall, just more aggressive appearance with the AMG line package, of course. That makes sense, AMG after all. To the sides, full LED headlights with LED daytime running lights. You get the automatic feature with those. You also get automatic high beams, so if you have your high beams on at night and senses a vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams, and when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up the high beams for you there. So super convenient there as well. But that pretty much rounds out the front end of this one. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, and something else as we are around to the side of this one, starting all the way to the top. Roof rails are going to come standard. They're either going to come finished in aluminum or a gloss black, like if you go with the AMG line package, for example. But satin chrome window surrounds or gloss black, again, dependent upon the configuration. Satin chrome door handle accents as well. You're going to get that either way. Rear privacy glass coming standard to get soft closed doors. If you wanted to spend an additional $550, that's an option. Matte black side skirts and fender surrounds do come standard. However, with the AMG line package, that changes that up to body colored accents. So you get body colored fender surrounds and body colored side skirts. That is the better look for sure, in my opinion, more of a high-end look. So for that reason, I love the AMG line package just for that alone. But anyways, body colored or gloss black side mirrors. They will be power adjustable with LED integrated turn signals. They're heated and power folding then as well. Then taking a look down at the wheel setup, 19-inch alloys coming standard, but then you get 19-inch, 20-inch, or 20-inch designs available as well to really customize this one and make it your own. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, and so now since we are around to the back of this one, this is pretty darn cool. We got a cool option here, but first thing I wanted to start by saying is that there is no shark fin antenna up top. Mercedes-Benz always gives you a very clean look, much like BMW actually does as well. So no shark fin antennas, but the cool thing is you do get a rear spoiler with an integrated brake light, but in our particular case, you also have this, I call it like almost like a second spoiler, like a rally spoiler, but it's called a roof spoiler is what Mercedes calls it, but that goes for $685. We got that as an option. I think it looks pretty stinking cool in my personal opinion. But rear window wiper affixed to the rear glass. You get LED taillights coming standard as well. And then just below it all, get down a little bit lower here, you do get dual exhaust outlets. However, they are tucked away. So those integrated chrome tips that look like they're integrated into the rear bumper there, those are actually filled in with plastic. The real exhaust is underneath. It is still dual exhaust, but it is tucked away. But anyways, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so now since we are around to the back of the GLE, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it actually is a hands-free power tailgate that does come standard on this thing, so you gotta absolutely appreciate that. But there is a button on the key fob. There's also a rubberized button on the tailgate itself then as well. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 33.3 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, the rear seats do fold down. That's going to bump that up to 74.9 cubic feet. Then that's decent. Cargo lighting back there. You get chrome plated tie down anchors. There's grocery bag hooks. There is a cargo cover. A little bit of netted storage to the corners there. There's a 12-volt power outlet as well. And then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire. Always love to see that. And you actually have a little bit of in-floor storage surrounding that as well. You could probably put an ice scraper in there or something, or tire inflator kit, I don't know. But then making our way up to the rear seats, first thing I want to mention is there is a third row seat package that goes for $2,100. It probably wouldn't be the most rear legroom if you did get the third row, but it is available, so wanted to mention that. But second row legroom then comes in at 40.9 inches. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there. Rear ventilation does come standard. You get dual rear USB charging ports, rear center armrest with cup holders as well coming standard. 4-zone climate control goes for $860 if you wanted the rear passengers to be able to set their own temperatures there. And then you can get a heated second row for an additional $580 if you wanted that option. But then making our way up to the front seats, power adjustable front seats with 4-way power lumbar coming standard. You do get memory settings for 3 different drivers and passengers. That's something that Mercedes-Benz does that a lot of the competition does not. So always a big fan of that. Heated front seats do come standard. MB-Tex upholstery coming standard. Leather seating goes for $1,620. Napa leather goes for $2,990. And then there's an option I wanted to mention to you guys. There is red Napa leather available and yacht blue Napa leather available. So I'd go with the yacht blue. Now I do think that's like a $12,000 option, but that would look amazing. But anyways, ventilated front seats are available as well. Massaging seats come with the Pinnacle trim. Overall, as far as seat comfort goes, it's actually perfectly fine in my short little test drive here today. So yeah, I did not have any issues. So then taking a look at the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It is power adjustable. It is going to be leather wrapped as well. Heated steering wheel is going to be optional, and then also optional is a wood leather steering wheel combination. That one goes for $600 if you were interested in that. I'm always a big fan of the wood steering wheels. But then making our way to the startup, let me start by showing you guys the key here. You got lock, unlock, and the button to pop the rear tailgate there, but it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just by the driver's right knee there. And so once started up, when it comes to the gauge cluster there, you guys are looking at a 12.3 inch digital gauge cluster, and it is absolutely amazing. Mercedes-Benz does gauges better than anybody else. There's a home button on the left hand side of the steering wheel. If you were to press that, you have a bunch of different loadouts. That's what I'm going to call it, at least. You got understated, there is sport, there's classic, there is navigation, there's an off-road setup as well if you wanted to display that. My personal favorite is the understated, and the reason being is because when you go into the understated, if you press that OK button one more time, you have the ability to choose between a bunch of different colors to make that understated gauge loadout as well. So you can match that up with the ambient lighting colors, which is what I did, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. And it's like an Aurora Borealis kind of setup, so it's super peaceful and relaxing as well. So that's what I personally prefer. But either way, you get everything you need up there, like outside temperature, digital speedometer, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, and so on. So huge fan of the gauge cluster on the GLE 350 here. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. A panorama roof goes for $1,000, and yes, that goes all the way into the back. I love that. There's this cool fade on and off interior lighting. I'm always a big fan of that with Mercedes as well. Auto dimming rear view mirror with homely controls, so up to 3 different garage doors. Dual zone climate control coming standard. You get a wireless phone charger located just in front of the cup holders here. A little bit of ambient lighting located within the cup holders. I thought that was pretty nice. Plenty of wood trim options. So that's something that Mercedes-Benz always does well as well. It's not just one option. It's a bunch of different colors and a bunch of different types of wood. So I'm a big fan of that. There's aluminum speaker covers as well. So in typical Mercedes fashion, they always do interior quality absolutely amazing. I love the ambient lighting found around these center grab handles as well. I'm always a big fan of that. Got the touchpad controller, a little bit of storage behind that, and then within the center armrest. there's a decent amount of storage in there. There's a USB charging port actually in there as well. So, and nice little silver coated power window buttons. I don't want to overlook them because they could have finished that in matte black, but they didn't. But one thing they did finish in matte black, two things actually, the engine start button and this transmission shifter thingy here, that needs to be finished in something different. Like they overlooked that, I feel like, but at least the engine start button. But anyways, let's now go ahead and make our way to the infotainment screen here. You're looking at a 12.3-inch color touchscreen display, Bluetooth and audio streaming, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, factory navigation system coming standard. You can check out your off-road statistics up there as well. And like I said, it is touchscreen, but there is a touchpad controller and buttons located kind of just behind the cup holders as well. So whatever's more convenient for you at the time, I guess. There's off-road statistics up there. You can check out your ambient lighting settings, change up the color and the brightness and all that fun stuff. Also your radio information though. So when it comes to the sound system, you do get a 13-speaker Burmester sound system. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing this morning, and let's test out the clarity of this one. It was pretty darn good. Like, that's a really good sound system for the GLE, without a doubt. A decent amount of bass, plenty of clarity with that. So, not the very best sound system I ever heard, but it's dang good. And 13 speakers, that's well above average. Like, if you're looking at just like a Honda or a Toyota, you get 6 speakers in a vehicle of this size. So, 13 speakers in the GLE. That's on point. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put the GLE in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. You also have that panoramic view monitor there to the left as well, giving you that bird's eye view, letting you know what is completely all around you, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so let me start with the very best part. This is an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest designation given by IIHS, so you cannot beat that. Front side curtain airbags do come standard. To get a driver's knee airbag up front as well. In the back, you got latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, active brake assist, driver attention monitoring system, cross wind assist, blind spot assist, Parktronic. That's a wild one right there. You can actually tell it if you wanted to back in or pull into a parking spot. It does all the steering, the braking, the gas, all that for you. So that's a fun little thing to play around with. Adaptive braking technology and a parking damage detector via the Mercedes-Me app as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts of the GLE 350, excellent interior quality. I love the ambient lighting. They do that better than anybody. Love the wood trim. So overall, they crushed it with the interior quality. Great driving dynamics as well. Sound system, pretty darn good. I liked that. And so that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow Mercedes-Benz at Hagerstown on social media stuff at the bottom of the screen. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews and all of our fun YouTube shorts we put on our channel, of course, as well. We do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and we will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.